Hi everyone, and welcome to Vane's 10th devlog. It feels weird to say that. We're at about a year and a half of dev work so far. We've been doing a lot of under the hood stuff, so excuse us if this one seems a bit light. Sort of anticlimactic for the first double-digit devlog, but we promise it's the first of many. We've been getting clothing and armor set up. Clothes now have armor ratings and function to protect the wearer from damage. Different clothing items have different ratings, and can also prevent damage from heat, water, and other environmental risks. We've also used the UI shown there on the weapons, which now display their damage and timing stats. As clothing gets damaged, it becomes less effective as armor. We've also added a clothing and armor library of 153 articles and counting. Obviously the art is placeholder for now, but they'll be filled in as we get more art added, and some clothing articles can act as better placeholders than others. Some are occupational, some are padded, and some are armored. What's nice about the system we have set up for ourselves is that the clothes we've added on can all be worn by zombies, meaning we're very close to having zombie variants like armored police zombies that you can actually loot. There's also a couple smaller features in our clothing work like specialty clothing scrap, denim, leather, etc. that you'll be able to use in crafting. You can also use hair dye to dye clothes. Speaking of zombies, we've improved the dirt texture on them as well as on players. We fixed a long-standing bug in their AI causing them to target alarms and vehicles over players. We've also added a bunch of settings for zombie difficulty to the new game settings menu. On the Champlain Valley, we've been expanding outwards and improving the art. The wilderness to the north and south of Redford is work in progress, with a large forest, hiking trails, rivers, and lakes. The landscape material has been improved, and we've been upgrading our grass and foliage a bit. It's an ongoing process, so it'll probably be even more improved by the time this video is live. The Champlain Valley map has also received its own custom version, similar to the old Redford's map. There's also a new character creation level work in progress. We've done some more work on items and weapons. There are some new melee animations geared towards stabbing. We've also made weapon animations a bit more responsive to player input. Some items are now labelable. Right now it's just keys, but we can expand this to whatever the community wants. Prior to this, all keys were just called key, so if you had a lot of them, it was impossible to tell them apart. We've worked on the placeable items like tents and chairs a bit. Tents are now much bigger, allowing you to enter them and place items or sleeping bags inside of them. Most chairs can also be picked up and used or set back down. We've rebalanced the bow and arrows we talked about in Devlog 3. Arrows will now instantly kill a zombie if they penetrate the head, and generally do more damage overall at the cost of being more difficult than a firearm to hit shots with. You can now engage or disengage a handbrake while driving the vehicle manually. So can your passengers. We've also added a light to the vehicle interior, and added the ability to see the gas level from the vehicle parts menu. Keys for vehicles can now spawn on nearby zombies and in nearby buildings. In terms of the more minor things we've added, there's now a clock on stoves that resets when the power goes out. Drunkenness now acts as a minor painkiller. If you eat too much or drink too much, you can now have a gastric rupture or hyperhydration. If you continue to eat past the point of satiation, you will start to take damage and feel pain. Unlike in most games, your stomach can explode in vain. We've added a nomad uniqueness, which causes you to spawn at more remote spawn points outside of the spawn region that you select. You can now rest in multiplayer. It's like sleeping, but doesn't set a spawn point and doesn't advance time. You can also now build mattresses to sleep on. We can't list all of the small things we've added in the span of a single devlog, but do keep exploring. You never know what you might find. Under the hood, there's been a ton of bug fixes. We found out that we shipped 0.007 with broken cooking, meaning no matter what you did, you wouldn't be able to cook anything. We've fixed that. We've also been doing some sweeping changes to how the code works by moving previously hard-coded numbers and data to the editor. This shouldn't cause any visible changes in-game, but it makes Vane that much easier to mod for players once we have support for that, and also reduces the amount of bugs that changes to the code could cause. Some features that were previously hard-coded but will now be able to be modded are vehicle types, tool types, and fluid types. We've also been working on persistent corpses. When a player or zombie dies, their corpse will remain there similar to their blood until something moves them or their body decays over the years. This is very work in progress right now, but we're getting close to it. Anyways, that's it for Devlog 10. Vane 0.007 remains on Steam, but if you want the latest builds, check out the Canary branch on Steam, link in the description. Remember to wishlist Vane if you haven't. We use it as an indicator of how much interest people have in the project, so it helps us out. I'm going to get back to work on Vane, and I'll see you on the next one.